guys. I was sitting here driving up here to Illinois this morning and listening to a podcast. I can't remember which one it was, maybe Truth from the Stand or something, and they were interviewing, maybe some top-notch hunters and stuff, and he was asking them, what was one of your most memorable hunts, your favorite hunt, and, it kind of got me thinking a little bit. I've been pretty lucky to kill some decent bucks. I'm actually on my way to Illinois right now. Check some trail cameras that's been out all year, and got my new e-bike back there. I'm gonna try it out a little bit, but everybody loves going after these big bucks. I'm not gonna lie. I've got a couple cell cameras out. We have a small lease. When you got one come by, it gets you excited. You like to check in the morning, afternoon, see that velvet on it. But I was sitting here thinking, I'm driving 2.5. It's almost 3 hours up here. It just got me thinking a little bit, what was some of my most memorable hunts. And the ones it wasn't even a big buck. I guess my first most memorable was my first buck I ever killed with my dad. We had a small lease in Obion County, which was actually real close to Reelfoot Lake here in West Tennessee. So it was about an hour drive from the house. It was a juvenile hunt. I think it was the Sunday, the second day. The first day we didn't have any luck, so that's Sunday we're going to try a new place. It's a back cornfield that just got cut. To come into our lease, there was some bottom land, and you had to climb a pretty steep hill to get up it. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I know as my dad was trying to go up it in his truck, we actually slid off and he got it stuck in a small ditch. Well, it was about an hour before daylight, so he said, screw it, we're not going to worry about it right now. We're just going to get back in there and hunt, and we'll worry about it when we come out. So, instead of driving back there, we ended up having to walk. Now, we did have a stand back there, so we didn't have to carry a stand or anything. But it was almost right at a mile. I think it was like 0.95 or something like that. So, we went ahead and walked. We got up there. It was a little late. It was already getting daylight. I can remember like it was yesterday. I was in a wooden stand and he was in an older stand kind of behind me. I was right on the edge and it was kind of overlooking these bottoms, and there was a cornfield out there about 200 yards wide. We got up there, I pulled my gun. I bet it wasn't 10 minutes. I seen a deer come out. And I could see a little rack on it, and I wasn't sure how big it was. I looked with my scope. I didn't have binoculars, I was 10 years old. I had hand-me-down camo, an old orange vest that was probably 3 sizes too big for me, some old rubber boots with them big old thick cotton insoles in them. Just a regular country boy with some hand-me-down clothes, but I was excited. That little buck walked out. I raised up my gun, shot. Boom, he fell over. You would have thought I killed a 180. So me and my dad got down, we walked over there. Then we realized, crap, we can't get this truck out. We gotta drag this deer out. So me and my dad, we started dragging. It was probably 7:45, 8 o'clock. We dragged that deer out a mile. We got back to the truck, got the truck unstuck, and went home. And so that was my first buck, and I was excited as can be. Went back to town, showed it off everywhere. Back then, we would take pictures and put it in the newspapers and stuff like that. That was my most memorable hunt with my dad. As you grow up, you have kids, and I have two 17-year-olds. Right now, they're 17 years old. They grew up hunting. Well, what I was scared about is they were going to be juveniles the same year. So I didn't really tell them, but I was really nervous that I was going to have to pick which one I took hunting, because I really wanted to see both of their deer being killed, their first deer. So it was early bow season that year. They were going to go on the juvenile hunt that year. My son Jackson, one day, I was heading up to our lease in Henry County. It's archery season. He said, can I go? And I said, you know what, come on. I said, I'll grab that crossbow that we have, and I'll just let you hunt today, and I'll just sit with you. There's a double man standing at the bottoms down there. And I said, well, he said, really? You gonna let me shoot? I said, yeah. I said, well, we'll see what happens. You never know. So we hunted that morning. We didn't see nothing. Not a deer one. Usually we get down about 9:45, 10 o'clock. 9:30, I looked over my shoulder, and here comes a big fat doe walking straight towards us. No falling or anything. I said, Jackson, don't move. Here comes a doe. And that deer looked like it was on a perfect string. It came straight down in front of us at about 25 yards, turned broadside, and just started eating. So I rangefinder. I had done told them, hey, if a deer comes in, I'll hit the rangefinder. I'll let you know what crosshair to use, and let it fly. That deer came, was right at about 25 yards. It turned. I told them to use the second little crosshair, shot it right through the heart. It ran about 20 feet and fell over dead. And of course, he was excited. So I was thinking, hey, this is awesome. We took it home, showed it to the grandparents, showed it to mama, little brother, sister. So I was like, all right, well, I got Jackson's first one out. So during the juvenile hunt, I'll let my dad take him, and I'll take Savannah. So juvenile hunt, we went up there. We had went in and made a little food plot in the bottoms area. Had a little two-person stand that we had got from Walmart, put it up. I'd seen a pretty good little 6-pointer on that camera. So I was like, that'd be perfect for her. So we hunted it hard. We hunted it Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Didn't see a deer one. Sunday morning we went in. I said, we're going to give it one more shot, because I know there's some deer around. I know they're hitting the food plot at night. And when I'm talking food plot, I'm talking like kill plot. It's probably 60 yards wide, maybe 50 to 75 yards long. There's a little logging area that they had cleaned out. So we got there, hunted that morning, didn't see nothing. She was kind of getting antsy, how kids are. I said, let's get down and walk around a little bit. So about 100 yards from the food plot and the stand, there's a creek that runs. I said, let's get in this creek and we'll pop up and kind of see what's over there. So we kind of slid down the creek a little bit and came up on the other side. She was kind of behind me. So she had unloaded the gun across the creek and handed it to me and climbed back up there. I said, hey, go ahead and put a couple bullets in there in case we see something. And I had actually had a tripod. I was holding I'm sorry, not a tripod, a little shooting rest. I said, I'm going to hold this. You just walk, and if we see something, we'll try to get set up. About that time, she said, Dad, don't move, there's a deer. I said, are you kidding me? So we both kind of went down to our knees a little bit. And it was actually a small buck, and he was feeding right towards us. I said, go ahead and stand up, and I'm going to slide this shooting rest underneath your gun. And I said, just take your time and find them in the scope. And I said, when he turns broadside, make a good shot. She said, all right, I got it. So she kind of raised up a little bit. He was just kind of walking towards us. He was probably about 60, 65 yards at this time. And he was facing right at us. She was like, Dad, he won't turn. I said, honey, just put it right on the center of his chest, right in front of him, and just ease the trigger off. And I heard, boom! And he just fell over dead. And I was like, wow. That was amazing. So we went over there, and of course she was excited. She was crying. Oh, it was awesome. So that was my daughter's first deer. Luke, my youngest, we actually got some of his deer on the YouTube channel. I didn't record the hunt, but he had a kind of a tough couple years. His first year he got out there, we had a small buck come in. He couldn't get a shot at it. Later on that year, he actually had one come in and he missed it. So that was actually tearing him up all year. He got really excited and just got buck fever and missed it. So the following year, we took him up there, same stand. As you'll see on the YouTube channel, the buck came out, kind of worked his way to the right. We was in a two-person stand for that hunt also. He kind of turned and made a great shot on it. He was so excited. I thought he was going to fall out of the deer stand. I mean, his hand was just sitting there shaking. Couldn't even call his mama because his hand was shaking so much. Luckily, she was actually there hunting with Jackson on the other side because it was a juvenile hunt, which made it great. Wife was there with my oldest. My dad was there with my daughter. I was there with him. It's just, we were all camping that weekend. It was just great. Just to think back, I know we all get wrapped up on big bucks and stuff, but, to me, that's not really what it's about. It's about these memories with our kids, our family, our loved ones, deer camp with the buddies, just don't let everything, don't get wrapped up in trying to kill these big bucks. Remember, take a little time, take some kids hunting and fishing. Because, when we leave this world, all those mounts on the wall that we spend all of them hours going after the big bucks, that don't mean anything. It's these memories with these kids, the time we get out with our buddies, and it's the next generation that comes after us. I just wanted to throw a couple of these thoughts out there today and tell y'all a couple of these stories and tell everybody good luck and Have a good year.